This is the first big mystery in your name. We're completely focused on one question: who wrote this? But that's exactly where Makoto Shinkai wanted us to look. Because while we're distracted by the mystery, he quietly hides some of the biggest clues in the entire film somewhere else. This ordinary classroom scene lasts only 61 seconds, from 8:37 to 9:38. But within those 61 seconds, Shinkai packs an incredible number of clues that help explain the story. The problem is, many of those clues never fully made it into the English subtitles or dubbing. The writing on the blackboard, the students' casual conversations, even a local dialect that sounds like an unimportant classroom joke. These details seem ordinary at first, but they're actually some of the most important clues in the movie. In this video, I'll explain every hidden detail in English so you can experience this scene the way Japanese audiences do. I'm a Japanese anime fan, and I'd love to share the details that are easy to miss if you don't speak Japanese. Warning: this video contains major spoilers for your name.
こんにちは、ともです。それではどうぞごゆっくり。
Even Japanese fans missed the blackboard. The answer to the question, "Who are you?" was actually hiding on the blackboard. I watched your name in the theater when it was first released, but I completely missed it. The reason is simple. The blackboard is only visible for a few seconds. First, for about 4 seconds. Then, for about 8 more seconds. It zooms in on the part one most want to show. This is a poem from the Manyoshu, Japan's oldest collection of poetry, written over 1,200 years ago. Let's look at just the first line. It is written in Old Japanese, but let's try translating it into modern English. Please don't ask me, "Who are you?" Does that sound familiar? It's almost a mirror of the words in Mitsuha's notebook, "Who are you?" The moment I noticed that connection, I couldn't help thinking, Makoto Shinkai, you got me. Now, let me share the poem with you. It says, "Please don't ask me, who are you? Through the cold autumn dew, like tears, I have been waiting for you." This is a love poem. Someone has finally met the person they've been longing for. To me, the poem is saying, your name doesn't matter anymore. I've finally found you. I only discovered this after watching the movie again very carefully. I think most Japanese viewers probably missed it the first time, just as I did. And because the poem only appears on the blackboard, it's something that subtitles and dubbing can never fully convey. When I realized what Makoto Shinkai had quietly hidden here, I honestly felt like I'd just found a secret Easter egg. A beautiful clue that had been sitting there all along, waiting to be discovered. Congratulations! You and I have just uncovered one of your name's hidden Easter eggs. This is exactly the kind of detail that's easy to miss unless someone explains the Japanese behind it. The key facts. So far, we've uncovered one hidden Easter egg from the blackboard. But while Mitsuha was completely focused on the words in her notebook, "Who are you?" the classroom lesson continued in the background. So, what was actually being taught during those 61 seconds? If we break it down, there were 2 parts. First, the teacher's lesson, which lasts about 25 seconds. Then, a short conversation between the teacher and the students, lasting about 13 seconds. Together, that's only 38 seconds. But those 38 seconds contain some surprisingly important information. I could explain every detail, but then this would turn into a Japanese language class. So instead, let me simplify everything into just 3 key facts. First, An old Japanese expression meaning, "Who are you?" eventually became the origin of the Japanese word for twilight. Second, the old expression meaning, "Who are you?" didn't remain as just one phrase. Over time, it branched into several different expressions. The words changed. The sounds shifted. But they all continued to describe the same moment, twilight. This is something you'll often find in Japanese. One idea can live on through several different expressions. Third, one of those old expressions changed one more time. Its letters shifted again, and this new form survived only in this region as a local dialect. I am placing two words side by side. Please compare them carefully. Today, that same word can also mean the other half, your partner, or even your soulmate. If that sounds a little confusing, you're not alone. It confused me at first, too. That's because these 38 seconds introduced several words that split, changed, and evolved over hundreds of years. So don't worry about remembering every term. Just remember these two ideas. The Japanese word for twilight comes from an old expression meaning, "Who are you?" And one version of that old word survived only in this town. That's all you need before we look at what comes next. One more key fact. We've just uncovered 3 key facts hidden inside that 61-second classroom scene. But there's one more detail that subtitles and dubbing can't really show. Do you remember Mitsuha's family shrine? Her family preserves the traditional craft of kumihimo braiding. And you probably remember what her grandmother says. That threads can connect people. That threads are like time itself, coming together, separating, becoming tangled, and sometimes finding their way back. Now here's another detail. Do you remember the name of Mitsuha's town? Itomori. In English, it's simply written as Itomori. But in Japanese, the name is written with kanji that literally mean, the town that protects threads. That's something subtitles can never really convey. My interpretation. Now let's put these 4 key facts together. Everything I've shared so far comes directly from the movie. What comes next is simply my own interpretation as a Japanese anime fan. An old mountain town. Ancient traditions carefully preserved. A place where a comet struck 1,200 years ago. A 1,200-year-old poem that quietly asks, "Who are you?" A word for twilight that, in this town alone, also came to carry another meaning. The other half. Your missing half. Your soulmate. For generations, the daughters of the Miyamizu family dreamed mysterious dreams, only to forget them. Then, 1,200 years later, the comet returns. Taki and Mitsuha meet across time. 3 years become tangled together, and then untangled again. Together, they save the people of the town. Maybe that's all just coincidence. Or maybe, this town has been preserving something far older than anyone remembers. Not just traditions. Not just words. But the bonds that connect people across time. I didn't notice any of these details when I first watched Your Name in the theater. It was only after watching it again that I started discovering these hidden pieces. And every new discovery made me appreciate the film a little more. That's why I wanted to share them with you today. Final thoughts. The town around Miyamazu Shrine was destroyed, but its people survived. Taki and Mitsuha finally found each other. So maybe this story didn't really end there. Maybe the musubi that connects people continues long after the movie is over. And in a way, it connected us, too. A movie created in Japan, watched by people all around the world, bringing us together to share the same story. To me, that's one of the most beautiful ideas hidden inside your name. If you enjoyed discovering these hidden Japanese details, I'll be making more videos about your name in the future. I've also put them together in a playlist, so I'd love for you to watch those too. And I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Do you have your own interpretation of this movie? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk with you there.